Hello, Mustang fans, and welcome to another episode of the Mustang Owners Podcast. I'm your host, John Clore, along with my co-host, Mike Rey. And Mike, we survived the polar vortex, and we survived the upper respiratory vortex, and we're here back again with more episodes, and now we've got a crazy, crazy episode.
Yeah, this is one, if you're in the Mustang hobby or you've been for the last 20 years, you're going to know this guy or at least heard of him, so we're going to have a great time tonight.
So, folks, we're talking about people that make a big difference in our lives when we go to get a Mustang, and people who you may, if you're out in the hobby and you kind of know the right people. Mike can vouch for having Mike, what is it, like a dealership, they call it the performance specialist?
Yeah, every dealership, in my opinion, should have a performance specialist or a performance manager that knows everything about it, and sadly, only about 20% of the dealerships actually do. So the ones that do actually have a little advantage because they can talk about the product in full, rather than just coming in and saying, "Oh, they got different wheels on it because it's a Roush or an RTR or whatever it is."
Well, we cross the country. There's thousands of Ford dealerships, and a lot of them do have performance specialists, but there's only one, the Crazy Mustang guy. And ladies and gentlemen, that's Lyle Sturgis. Lyle of Tindol Ford, welcome to the Mustang Owners Podcast.
Man, this is an honor. Man, this is just so great. Thank you all for having me.
Well, when Mike said we got to get the Crazy Mustang guy, at first I said, which one?
Crazy Mustang Man.
That's right, man. You got it.
Yeah. And then when I Googled the Crazy Mustang Man, your name came up, Lyle. So you're the only one that has that title. And, there are a lot of people that are performance specialists. That Mike Rey guy, he's one of those too. Only it's not Tindol Ford, it's Gorno Ford. But we want to know, Lyle, why do people know you as that Crazy Mustang Man?
Well, I guess it started about 31 years ago with Jack Roush and the Roush program when they started building Mustangs. And, at that time, Roush Mustang was very rare, hard to get and everything. And so Steve Ford and myself and some others there at Roush, I started handling them for Jack. And because I'm down here where Roush Racing is, it made it pretty easy to get the vehicles and distribute them throughout the country. And as years went on, working these events, nobody knew what a Roush Mustang was. They really didn't. So between my wife and I, working every event you could in the country, handing out flyers, getting cussed out because what's a Roush? And putting up with all that stuff. So year after year after year, I started doing videos as the Crazy Mustang Man. And next thing you know, it took on, and it's just a passion. I got my first Mustang in 1967. Never been a month in my life I haven't made a payment on a Mustang. And it just shows that I'm old, and I've made a lot of payments. But I still got one or two of them, but it's a lot of fun.
Well, to be crazy, Mike, you have to actually be connected because people have to know you as that Crazy Mustang Man. But that you actually go back to the old SVT days when Ford did train, in dealer personnel about SVT Mustang Cobras and Lightnings and all of our fun stuff until that went away. And then, Mike, you wound up leaving Team Mustang and going to Roush. And is that when you first got exposed to this crazy Lyle Sturgis fellow?
Yeah. Lyle was many years in a row #1 Roush dealer in the entire world at Tindol Ford, and we got to go down there, meet him, do some events with him, Tail of the Dragon, all the fun stuff. And Lyle, I always thought I had a ton of energy, and everybody else always said that like that. When I met Lyle, I took second place right away. So, but it was great to have someone like that on the same team.
We had a lot of fun.
But you had to go to the dealers and to find those people that would help move the Mustang metal when it came to Roush Mustangs. And you found that Lyle Sturgis, at least in North Carolina, was already a name brand guy. And so he must have been a pretty big part of that Roush road crew when you guys went down south.
Absolutely. There was only two guys in the whole Roush world when I joined at the dealership level that were, I would call, experts in that field. And Lyle was definitely #1 out of them. And so it was very far and few between, you know what I mean, that you would get somebody really good like that could talk about the product, that could move it, that could get a following with all the people that would literally, just take to him. And he did it at another level that no one else could.
So Lyle, you made some friends, but when you sell a car, you know you got to have follow up, and you got to remain that in that person's pocket and make sure that they are happy well after the sale, and then figure out how to use that Roush Mustang. Is that why you got so involved after the sale?
Oh yeah, I tell you, you make a friend. I've never wanted to be a car salesman. I don't sell cars. I sell love affairs. I only do Roush and RTR vehicles. I don't sell cars of any other kind. And that's the way the program's been since I started years ago, 18 years in Shelby, North Carolina, with Mr. H.S. Keeter, and then with Natalie Tindol 13 years ago. And that's all I do is RTR Ford Performance Vehicles and Roush. And I follow up these customers, sing happy birthday. Everybody needs a Crazy Mustang Man sing happy birthday to you. And they're friends, and that's what makes it great, because anybody can buy a car and send out a postcard, but until you've had the serenade from the Crazy Mustang Man on your birthday, you just probably haven't lived. And you surely just don't own a Roush or an RTR. I promise you that.
So
See,
Mike,
John?
I don't expect anybody, any performance manager and any Ford dealer to call me up and sing happy birthday to me.
Yeah, you're not getting that call from me.
You send me your birthday, John. I'll sing to you every year till I die.
Well, Lyle, have you ever heard Mike Rey sing? Because it's not pretty.
No.
No, I tell you, when you're as good a singer, like, just listen. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, John and Mike, whenever you have a birthday. Happy birthday to you. Now, son, if that ain't beautiful, I don't know what is.
And if that doesn't
Only
tell
here live on the Mustang Owners podcast.
That's right. If that doesn't tell everybody on the podcast, why Lyle Sturgis?
You gotta love it, man.
Mustang Man. So Lyle, what you're telling me is that if tomorrow Tindol Ford would say, you've got to go down the street there and sell Kia Souls, you wouldn't sell Kia Souls.
I'd be retired. That's the advantage of being in your 70s. That's great. But yeah, nah.
I want you to know the good news is I heard a couple weeks ago that Kia has canceled the Soul.
Well, I didn't think Kia had a soul. Aren't they built some foreign country? Some foreign country somewhere. I don't know. If it's not made in America and living here in the Carolinas, it's just not made. I don't know.
So Mike, the guy makes his reputation after he left selling the SVTs and getting into Roushes. And really, Lyle, let's face it, you really did make your reputation, especially with your videos on the Roush Mustangs. But as Mike told us, as Roush moved along, got into the truck business, they don't sell Roush Mustangs anymore. Tell us about how that transition went from Roush over to this new ready-to-rock RTR Mustang brand. How has that transition been going for you?
It's been great. I'm going to tell you, when Vaughn Gittin Jr. and Ford Performance got with us and said, Lyle, when Roush cut out the Mustang, they just took this old man's salary and cut it in half. And so I'm not the crazy truck man. Never got a check from Ford Motor Company or Roush Industries, so I have to depend on selling these hot rods. Eggs and liver mush are high here in the Carolinas, so you have to go out and buy it every day to eat. So I went with them, and to be honest with you, I had no intention of ever wanting to do anything with RTR. And as Mike will tell you, I was Roush through and through. Jack's blood isn't as red as mine when it comes to Roush, and he and I are great friends. But like I told him, he said, I'm sorry, Lyle, they let you down. And, it was a sad day. But the great thing is Vaughn Gittin Jr. and Ford Performance were there. And now his relationship with Ford Motor Company is phenomenal. And when we started with it, they didn't have any Fox or Tuscan, any third-party vendors doing anything. So I was the only outlet. So when you're the only one selling them, it makes you pretty good, pretty fast. And, first year, 2024, we sold over 100 of them. I sold a lot of them. And then this past year, 25, we're over 100. So, and I sell them all over the United States. So I tell them if they wanted a factory built RTR at the RTR lab, that's my forte. But it's neat. It gave me a new lease on life. As Mike will tell you, this is a young group of people with RTR. Josh Hipp and and Jaron and these guys. And Jaron worked with me from the beginning, and then it just made it really great. And so it made this old guy. I think I got back 30 years of my life doing these RTRs, and it's just a great honor to sell a great, great car. Performance-wise, engineering, designing, I'm all into that. That's what made me so proud and still proud to sell the Roush trucks. But the Mustang's what I love, and I've got this, and we're just going to make the best of it. Whatever the good Lord does, we'll do it.
You know, John, also, so Josh Hip and Jaron Cole, like you know, both of them, and now most recently, Marcus Cervantes joined the team too. So those are all three guys that were at Roush at one point with me, and now they're all at RTR. So they know what they're doing in the business. Vaughn looks and picks the talent where he needs it, knows where it's going to be successful, and I think the proof's in the pudding right now.
Yeah, you know,
That's
Marcus
exactly.
had worked for me. He worked for me at Ford Performance and worked under the Club Connect program. They got some really good kids. But Lyle, here's what we noticed. Now, we do have a Mustang Owners podcast when we visited the RTR headquarters over there. Remember, Mike? When they showed us a little
we
sneak
went to the lab,
peek.
yep.
Yep. All right. So what I've noticed, Lyle, is between the Roush customer and the RTR customer is you, sir, as the Crazy Mustang Man, are going to have to turn your hat around because you got it in the wrong direction for the RTR folks. Isn't it supposed to be backward?
It's better than a bald head. You know what I mean, brother? I did do one thing for them. They razzed me so much about this RFK racing hat, and I wish I had one here. I now have a green hat that says RTR Vehicles, and that's thanks to Jim Smith, who's with RTR. Jim every time would give me, Lyle, when you come over here, here's a hat, here's a hat. I said, son, I wore a green hat for 31 years. He said, we're getting you one. I said, just forget it. I will. So I called my hat man, and now we got an RTR green hat. So since I was at the house tonight, I had to dig up an old antique to wear for this. But yeah.
Well,
that's awesome.
Mike, that leads up a good question, Mike, because you sold both cars. You sold everything from Celine's to, you know, Joe Schmuck's version of a high-performance Mustang they traded in when they shouldn't have been messing with and took the cats off and made a car you couldn't even pass emissions with. But the question I have is that Roush customer who bought a Roush, he likes a Mustang, if he comes in and talks to you, Lyle or Mike, do you show him the RTR? Is that something he might be interested in, even though he's not that young kid?
Yes, sure.
You know, me and Lyle both wish they had Roush Mustangs still. I get customers all the time asking for them. I talk to our reps all the time. I'm like, are you guys bringing the Mustang back? We need them back. They're losing that field right there. And yeah, we're definitely putting them into an RTR. I know I am, and I can guarantee you Lyle is.
Yeah, because, you know, when they stopped 3 years ago now, and I was with Jack Sr. at the race shop when we were on a conference call, and it was sad because that was Jack Sr.'s passion. Like Vaughn Gittin Jr. has a passion. And I think if I could put the two together, and all three of us know the Mustang culture is a passion. You have people that get on the bandwagon as life goes on, but the three of us have been doing this a long time. And it's all about the love of the car and just what Mustangs meant to America. And a Roush customer that can't get a Roush, and you showing the engineering design. And listen, Vaughn Gittin Jr. and his team and Ford Performance have done a phenomenal job of making a highly engineered car with suspension. Everything's got a purpose. There's no plastic. It's the real deal, Mike. I tell you, it's not a chunk car with a stripe on it. It's the real deal.
Absolutely.
Well, you know, Mike, we had a little discussion about this before, and for us, Lyle, it's been a big deal to try to draw, especially when you have people that really love the new Mustangs. There's always a great connection between guys like you in the performance end of the dealerships and clubs. How important was it when you were selling Roushes to have a relationship with the Roush Road Crew, and now to have a relationship with people that like to drive RTR? Do you still have a club people that you hang out with and kind of pitch the RTR message to?
Oh, absolutely. And I think me and Lyle both can attest too. A lot of the road crew members we still talk to, still in touch with, very close with. We built that bond for the years, even though it's not in existence anymore. I talk to them all the time. And, you know, some of them have actually even bought RTRs. Right. So, you know, it's just the way it's going right now. And like I said, we both wish Roush had Mustangs because we can move them as well too.
Well, I
So
tell you,
Lyle,
we
have you
have a
seen
huge.
have you seen the now Ford Performance is offering the Dark Horse and now the Dark Horse SC? It looks like the interest in Mustang, at least from the Ford corporate side, is not going away. But I think RTR serves a really sweet niche there between a Mustang GT and say a Dark Horse SC.
Oh yeah. Well, see, Ford Motor Company debuted in Detroit the Spec One car, which is a new 4-cylinder EcoBoost turbocharged RTR Mustang that will be built at Flat Rock. It's a Ford built car, and this is the first time in, I guess, since the early Shelby days it was actually built anything other than Ford or SVT or Ford Performance. And then I'm fortunate enough to sell the 2s and Spec 2s and 3s that are actually built at the lab, and so by doing that, these cars are gaining tons of horsepower because RTR's built at Ford, RTR's with Ford Performance. Those two are Ford Racing now, and those two things are just like real strong. It really helps the brand a whole lot. And it's no different than anything Mike will tell you. You got to put your butt in the seat and drive one. And if that doesn't make you grin, you don't have to buy one from me, but you'll grin when you drive it. I promise you that.
So
Absolutely
Mike,
true.
Mike, how come you like everybody knows Lyle from all those crazy videos he did, and that's why he got the crazy moniker. Mike, how come you didn't get a video guy to chase you around all over the country?
that spot was already taken. Ain't no one gonna outdo Lyle. I can promise you. I was in a couple videos with him in the past.
Yeah,
and
we
it's
had fun.
absolutely a riot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Lyle.
it's cool because Mike came to Roush. It's funny because I've been there so long. I've watched all these young men like Mike and Steve Ford, who has passed at this time, but he started with us at the beginning. Steve and I and my wife, we worked the first Mustang week when they had it in Myrtle Beach, the very first one. I've worked it every year since, and it's all funny to be there. And year one, people were saying, "Don't put this damn flyer in my box." This what's the Roush? And as years went on, there wasn't even a category for Roush. I mean, it was other. You had a Shelby, you had a Celine. Now, how in the world I figured they even got a class, but he did. And then it went to other. Well, we're a little better than other, and we're a little better than the rest of them. So after you just stay at it long enough, we got a Roush class. And Mike and I were real happy about that because we didn't have other cars anymore. I've got a Shelby. Well, that's great, buddy. I got a Roush. So now RTR with Ford's backing, and I really think Mike will agree, puts a whole new emphasis in what we got. I mean, this is great. I know at Tindol Ford Performance where I am, the RTRs it's just phenomenal. And the backing, and same way with Mike, the way they back us, it's really cool.
Yes, absolutely. Amazing customer service. Staying behind their product 1,000,000,000,000%. Anything you need is done within 24 hours. It's just absolutely incredible.
And Mike and I, either one, are used to that. That's right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there are some aftermarket brands that don't have that reputation, but I got to tell you, do you guys think that the RTR will eventually get that kind of following where they get their own club, or maybe they're so popular that they have their own classification at Mustang shows? Would you think it's going to grow to that point?
I do.
think so.
Yeah, because
I think it's on a rocket ship right now.
Mm-hmm. I think in my tenure, as long as I do it, I think it's so great to be at the beginning years. When Ford Motor Company decided to build it, Mustang Club of America and these other major Mustang clubs had to say, "Oh, that's a Mustang, and it's got a reputation now." All of a sudden, it's not just that other company. Ford Motor Company's building it. And when Carroll started and Ford jumped on base, that had a lot to do with how it grew. And Jack Roush, 50 years. This is honor. He has, and people don't realize it, the relationship Jack and the Ford family has is phenomenal for Roush. And not building the Mustang was not a choice of Jack Roush Sr., I assure you. It was just a big, huge corporation. But with RTR, we have a big club here in the Carolinas with RTR. And Mike was involved with probably the biggest Mustang club in the world, Moscom, for all those years. And that's how I got to meet Gary Patterson, because Gene and I would go up there and show at the big thing we did during homecoming, Woodward Dream Cruise. And we knew, I think, Sarah, and then met John, and then they got married. And so it's a really cool group. And he's doing some great stuff, I'm sure, in Las Vegas. I just want to do a little bit more here in the Carolinas. He can stay in California. It's a great place.
Yeah, I don't know why Mike Rey depended on being a matchmaker. His vice president of Moxham, Sarah Patterson, was supposed to be vice president of Moxham. Then all of a sudden she was, I'm getting married. To who? Gary Patterson. No.
It's funny because I still get asked to this day. They're like, do you know Gary married a girl from Michigan and she was involved with Mustangs? I'm like, yeah, I'm the one that introduced them. Thank you.
Yeah. All I can say is Gary's a smart man. Congratulations to him.
Well, so you guys make a lot of matches that way on the people side, but of course on the car side, which is also extremely important. So for Lyle Sturgis, so where's the Crazy Mustang Man going next? What's on your agenda for 2026?
Well, for 2026, we'll still do the major shows here on the East Coast. Mustang Week has now moved from Myrtle Beach to Charlotte, which is right in my neighborhood. And so we'll all be able to do it there. And it's a lot better venue because we really have real drag strips, real racetracks. I think we got better accommodations at our motels than you probably find at the coast. We just don't have a lot of water, at sand, but we got some places, really cool places you can go fast. And I promise you, these guys and gals that think they've got to show their horsepower in 10 feet spinning out, they'll meet the Concord and Charlotte Met Police real quick. And they're used to NASCAR fans, so these will be just wussies compared to NASCAR fans. So they'll stop that pretty quick.
They'll have a different vibe, that's for sure. But don't you got Mike? They got that big racetrack. They got a place where they can legally go exercise their Mustangs at the drag strip. The track's going to be open. I think it's a good move, Lyle. What do you think? The RTRs are going to be out there in force?
Oh, yeah. Vaughn's going to have the big trailer. We'll be a big sponsor down there and do events there. I'm really excited because I tell you what, especially in our market here, we've been blessed to do so well with the RTR Mustang that just if our customers within a 500,000 mile radius come, we'd have 80, 90, 100 of them. And Charlotte's a great destination for having this. It's just a little closer. For me, it's great. I get to sleep in my own bed, not the Hampton Inn. So, and then we're going to be
better.
Yeah, breakfast is a heck of a lot better. And then we have Ponies in the Smokies coming up in a month. Right. I think, March.
Well, Mike
and then we'll have auto fair at the Speedway.
Yep. Mike and I went to Ponies last year. Mike, I handed off the transit van. I know the special vehicle registry will be up there at Smokies. We had a great time up there as well. Yep. And then, of course, I'm really looking forward to that change with Mustang Week, not only coming down to Charlotte after all those years in Myrtle Beach, but then, Mike, Mustang Week, Texas. And then you just saw recently how they're going to go over to the West Coast. I don't know if you know this, Lyle, but the old Fab Ford show put on by the Ford Car Club Council out there in the LA area is now going to be in partnership with Mustang Week to do that show out there in California. So I think that's a great group of people. And as long as you don't fill up all the jails with reckless drivers, you should be fine down there in Charlotte.
Oh, I think we're going to be great in Charlotte. And we were in Texas. Jackson, my partner in the performance division, Uriah Jackson, at my age, I had to have somebody come up Mike's age to help me out. So Jackson's going to be my heir to the throne, I guess, one day. But he went to Texas this past year with RTR for the first big Mustang Week they had there. It was great to see a different group of customers, a different group of people. And it was uncanny how many local people we knew when we got to Texas. People who drive a long way. Mike and I know a couple. Bernie's deceased now, but Bernie and Grace, when they were with the Roush Road Crew, they went all over the United States in their P-51. Two of the finest people you probably ever meet. And so Mustang owners will drive a long way. I've been amazed, even MCA members, they'll have all their national shows. And when they have the national shows, they drive cross country. So, there's a big fight. You've seen it, John, and I know Mike has. I mean, you go to Woodward, and where are you from? North Carolina, Texas, Virginia, and the big crowds coming up.
All over the world. Yeah, in Woodward, we had clubs from Australia and France, and the Canadians came down and found out you can't do burnouts on Woodward the hard way. They found out. But no, Mike, you've always said, though, Mike, no matter what kind of great car you're selling in the marketplace with a new Mustang, Mike, you always said it's just not about just the car. You could develop that relationship with some of the true Mustang
about
people.
The people. Yeah. The cars bring us together, but it's about the people and the relationships that last forever.
And it's amazing the friendships you make. Amazing.
Well, Lyle Sturgis, the Crazy Mustang Man, you have definitely made a lot of friends, had a lot of great relationships. We're so pleased that you've transitioned so well into the RTR brand, and we know you're going to have more fun than you should legally have this year again here in 2026. Mike and I will be looking forward to seeing more of those Crazy Mustang Man videos and looking to see you out there slinging the RTRs and telling the world what a great car that Mustang is when it gets a little bit of a ready to rock magic.
That's right, buddy. I'll be there with you, and my hat will always be like this, because like this doesn't do an old man too good. So I just want to make sure I've got this on. I'll let Mike turn his around. He's young enough to do that.
Yeah, Mike, I'm going to, all right, next time I'm going to see Mike if he can get his hat on and get it on backwards, then you've really succeeded. You got me sold.
We'll have to see each other at Ponies and get a picture of that, Mike. I guarantee you, buddy.
Yes.
The three of us.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Lyle Sturgis, the Crazy Mustang Man, for joining us tonight on the Mustang Owners Podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. And on behalf of myself and the whole gang at Tindol Ford Performance, we appreciate you so much. Mike, John, you're the best.
Thank you, Lyle.
That was really great. I'm so glad you chased Lyle down before he was off making another crazy video. And I hope you folks enjoyed that. And then we know you look forward to seeing Lyle Sturgis at any of those events he mentioned. Make sure if you do see him, go up to him and say, "Hey, Mike, do you know, I saw your buddy Lyle, and he was at the show just like you said." And go up to him and say, "Lyle, I saw you on the Mustang Owners Podcast." And all we need from you folks is to make sure you hit that like button or the subscribe button if you want this kind of content. Share it across the Mustang world. That's all we'll need from you. It's free. It only takes a second. And we want to keep bringing these great Mustang people and stories to you every single week. So until next time, we'll just have to catch you guys down the road.